Hi, welcome to my channel. So it's February the 14th today, Valentine's Day, and I wanted to do a little video about navigating finding love, I suppose, and is it on the table for us at all, as being transgender or non-binary or living outside the normal confines of the binary world. I mean, obviously, to put trans people under one category is very, very difficult because obviously I've got friends who are married to females, and then when they come out, they stay together and they have a nurturing relationship. So this probably becomes redundant to them because they're finding their way and they've got a supportive partner, which I think love is what that's what it's about. It's about supporting each other. It's not about necessarily physical attraction, although that can be one of the ingredients. Now, from my experiences, I've been putting myself out to the world as Natasha since before 2010, I would suggest. A good 15 or 16 years. And one of the things that's been very prominent, and maybe I've contributed to this myself as well, because we create the energy we put out, we create for ourselves. But I've found that for a lot of people, it attracts lust. It attracts. It's a sexual attraction. It's a fetish. It's a taboo. And I know that in my earlier years that would have been the draw for me. It got my attention because it was taboo. It was something that was spicy or different, and that's all very well. And it can be fun and it can be exhilarating to explore that side of the world, but I don't think that's what eventually everyone wants. I think we would like to spend time with people. We would like people that know us, that care about us, and want to spend time with us beyond sort of you know activities such as sex and all those other things, which are nice. But how often do people do that? Doesn't make up 24 hours of your day. That's, if you're lucky, once every few weeks. I mean, for me, it's been much longer. So that's not really the center of my attention. My attention is about making connections and stuff like that. And love seems to be a distant land that I can't quite reach. I think the first thing I would say is that in the past where I've tried, if you don't have I think the first person, this is going to sound a bit sort of obvious, but the first person you need to love is yourself. Otherwise, you're just going to attract anyone, and you're just going to accept anyone that accepts you. You're not going to value yourself and say, "Oh, actually, no, I deserve a little bit better than that," or I shouldn't be accepting something just because X, Y, and Z. I think it's a difficult thing because we're told that we're a mistake. We're told all these things, and to have a healthy self-esteem is something that's difficult. But I would say that's what I've been doing for the last 5 years. I've been learning to love myself so that the cup can run off over. If I can love myself, then I have more love to give to someone else. And how can I expect someone to love me if I don't love myself? So I feel like I've got to that point now, but along that journey, I'm very conscious that I've attracted people and I've had interactions with people, but it's the central theme, like I mentioned before, has always been, it's been passion. It's not really been wanting what's coming out of my mouth. It's more about the persona or the image that I'm occupying. And there's a place for everything in the world. We go through stages in our life, and don't get me wrong, I like that side of life, but it's not very fulfilling when you've been doing it for many years, or being around it only that for many years. It becomes very shallow and very, for me, boring. It's like animals have sex, it's ants have sex, or it's not really a sophisticated thing, or a thing that I know that we're drawn to it. And that's another thing as well, I suppose, where I've been on hormones for 5 years now, over 5 years. It's kind of helped me take my attention off that side of things altogether. So it's really not something that I think about at all, the lust side of things. But as you get older, and I'm sort of into my 40s now, connection and spending time with people, investing your time with people that actually enjoy more than what your shell is, enjoy what you might have to say, or your mannerisms, or or just spending time with you because they care about you. These things they kind of trump it. And I've known that for a while, but I've just kind of not. I just was under the understanding that it's very, very difficult for us, because I think for a lot of people, even in the cis world, they put forward a character or a person who they know would a person would be attracted to. So they're not actually, they're sort of bending who they are to sort of fit what other people's requirements are. And where that's not really an option for us, I mean, you can do that, but I think you're setting yourself up for a big fall. But when you live authentically, and when you're sort of saying, well, this is me, who wants to, spend time with me, and who can enjoy being with me, and wanting to get to know me, that's a different thing altogether. And I think, but I don't think it's impossible now. I think I'm arriving at an understanding that I think there's someone for everyone. And I think, I think you have to first of all believe it's possible. And I mean, I know lots of people that are in partnerships either with other trans people, or with males, or with females. So it's just, I think it is more difficult, but then I think if it's worth pursuing, it's worth pursuing. And I think, spending so much time in this kind of almost like this pocketed world where it's full of sort of this fetish for this, and there's all these kind of different branches of people's specific interests, but are all sort of lust related. It gets difficult to find, well, where do we connect, who, and maybe a lot of this is me, because we're all complex beings anyway, but I suppose I'm relatively complex as well on top of that. But I think I've got myself to a good point now, and I think it is possible. I think this is probably the first Valentines in many, many, many years that I thought, you know what, it would be nice to have a partner. Because in the past, I've just not been bothered. I've been so preoccupied with either trying to understand myself, or trying to survive in the world, or trying to find my place in the world. Whereas now I'm at a point now where I think, right, do you know what? I'm ready to let people in, and I'm ready to sort of give something of myself. So, yeah, I just wanted to sort of say a few things today because it's Valentine's Day, and I know it's something that a lot of trans people may struggle with, because particularly the dating websites as well, that seems to be our only way of meeting people, but we're not really setting ourselves up for success on a lot of those platforms, because I think a lot of people are looking for something very different than a connection. They're not looking for a relationship, they're looking for short-term intimacy, which has its place, like I said before, but finding something that's a little bit more precious, where you connect with someone, that's where I think my mind is at, and I think that's where a lot of people would like, if it's possible. So that's my new sort of challenge, sort of throwing myself into that sphere of belief, and seeing what happens. But for now, I'm happy in myself. Everything's good. It's just funny that I'm looking to connect with people when the world's in such a divisive place at the moment. But that's where I tend to sort of go against the grain a lot in life. So but let's just sort of entertain the idea in our minds, and you never know. Anyway, thanks for listening. Please subscribe for more videos, and have a great day and rest of the week.